Hi guys, welcome to POMCLOSET. Today I'm going to show you how I crochet the bikini bottom in Brazilian style. And these are what we need. I always use cotton yarn 100%. And these, I bought them from the Hobby website. It's 4-ply cotton, suitable for the knitting and crochet. And the hook you will need, it's 2.5, 3, and sometimes I use 4. It's very thin and quite soft. You can wash by hand or the machine wash. We also need the crochet hook. This is my favorite hook. It's number 4. It's suitable for this kind of yarns, very thin yarn. Actually, this crochet hook, they have 2 ends. It's number 3 and number 4. I always use number 4 because I feel comfortable with this hook more. You will also need a pair of cutter or a pair of scissors, the yarn needle, some stitch markers, also the tape measure. And before we starting the project, I need to explain something about the sizes. Here is the design that we need to achieve. It's Brazilian bottom. We will need to use the pattern of this shape here for the front, also for the back. And to start with, we will work from the bottom up, and then we will do this part here. And after that, we need to do the strap for the bottom, both left and right. So to begin with, as I'm making size M, I will do the slip knot. For all sizes you need to do the slip knot, and for size M I'm gonna change up to 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chains. For size S you need to do 9 chains. Size M do 10, size L do 11, size XL do 12. After that, change 2 for all sizes, then do single crochet on the 3rd chain from the hook. The rest of the stitches also do the single crochets until the last stitch. So you do this for all sizes as well. The difference is only where you started. You just need to change as I have mentioned. So for size M I have done 10 chains. And the last stitch also single crochets. This is the first row. The second row you need to chain 1, turn the work, and then single crochet on this first stitch here, single crochet on this one, and the rest of the stitches you need to do single crochet. The remaining of the stitches are 10, so exactly the same as row 1. For size S you will have 9, size L you will have 11, size XL you will have 12. So row 2, and the last stitch is here. So you have also 10 stitches. I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stitches on row 2, and row 3 you need to repeat row 2 by chain 1, turn the work, and always do on this stitch as the first one, as the first stitch, and the rest just do exactly the same as row 2 until you reach the last stitch. The remaining stitches will be also 10 for size M, 9 for size S, 11 for size L, and 12 for size XL. I will meet you at the end of row 3. And here is the end of row 3. For row 4 now we need to add the stitches to make the bottoms get bigger, go wider by chain 1, turn the work, and the first stitch you do single crochet always. The second one here you do 2 single crochet in the same stitch, so we are increasing the size, and the rest you do single crochet until you reach the last 2 stitches left, and you will have to repeat exactly the same as on the other side. So here you have this stitch and this stitch left. On this stitch you will do 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and on the last stitch 1 single crochet. So row 4 is completed, and the other sizes like S, L, XL you will have to repeat exactly the same. And for row 5, 6, 7 you need to repeat row 2 and 3. That means you don't have to add any stitches for 3 rows. For row 5, chain 1, turn the work, first stitch always single crochet, also the rest of the stitches, no need to add any more of the single crochets, because row 5, 6, 7 we don't need to add any extra stitches. We will do, so I will do single crochet until I reach the last stitch of row 5. I recommend it to put the stitch markers on so you won't get lost. I will put the stitch markers on where we add this, the stitches, which is row 4. So row 4 is on, it's white color, it's quite difficult to focus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, row 4 is on this one, because I add 2 single crochet in the same stitch, both left and right. So row 5 is completed. Row 5, now I do row 6 and row 7 by repeating row 5. The other sizes also do exactly the same. So I will meet you after you've done row 4, 5, 6, 7. After you've done row 7, we will do row 8. At the end of row 7, now we need to start row 8 by chain 1, turn the work, and repeat row 4. So we're adding the stitches on the second chains here on the second stitch by doing 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and the rest of the stitches you do single crochet until you reach the last 2 stitches and repeat the other side. So basically you need to add stitches on every 4 rows. Like this one, row 8, and the last 2 stitches. On this one I will do 2 single crochet in the same stitch, the last stitch single crochets to complete row 8, and then move the stitch markers to this row, so you know you have added the stitches twice. Now row 9, I will just show you this. We have done row 8, so just repeat row 4 by single crochet on the first chain, and then one next to it is 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and the rest just single crochet until you have the last 2 stitches left, and then just repeat on this side as I have mentioned, as I have shown you. And for row 9, 10, 11, you just repeat basically row 5, 6, 7. That means no adding stitches. You will add the stitches only on the 4th row, which is row 12. So add exactly the same as row 4 or row 8. And then row 13, 14, 15, no need to add stitches. Row 16, add. 17, 18, 19, no need to add. Row 20, you need to add the stitches. So as here until you get to row, I will keep crocheting by following this pattern until I get the length, which is this part here. So this is size M. The length of the bottom part where we started until here, also including this part, the M, size M, you will need 9 inches in total. And this part here, it's around 2 inches. So basically we will need around 7 inches on this part for size M. For size S, on this part you will need 6. On M you need 7, L you need 8 inches. On the XL you will need 9 inches only on this part. So after I get 7 inches from this bottom part up to here by following this pattern I have written, and I will get back to you and show you how to do this part to get 2 inches extra to make this bottom, the length of this bottom, 9 inches. And the other sizes, you will have size S, you will have 8 inches for the whole bottom. This is the length. And for M, 9 inches, for L, 10 inches, for XL is 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11 inches. But first of all, we need to get this part done. So I will meet you after I've get the length of 7 inches. Now I have done 37 rows. 37 rows, and it works out for the length of 7 inches. And the bottom part here, I forgot to mention, is around, when it's stretched, is around 2 inches. The length for 37 rows is 7 inches for size M. And for size S, you might just go for 31 rows for size S. And for size L, you will need to add around 4 to 5 rows. Size XL, you will need to add like 4 to 5 rows to make 1 inch. So for me, this is size M, as this is a customized piece, and the width of this part here, it's around 6.5 inches. Now you need to do this part here on the design. So on the top part, this is size M, and I have been through this. We need to continue from where the yarn is. So by changing 3, I have changed 1 already. So 1, 2, 3, and then you turn the work. Now we need to skip 2 stitches, go to the 3rd one, and do double crochets 3 times. 2, 3. After that, change 2 and do 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Like this. So 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. Now you need to skip 2, go to the 3rd one with double crochets, and then skip 2, go to the third one with 3 double crochets, change 2, 3 double crochet, just like this one. Change 2, 3 double crochets, and the next one is skip 2 stitches, go to the third one and do double crochets. Skip 2, go to the third one, 3 double crochets. Basically just repeat these two. So for size S and M, you will end up having 4 of these. It looks like a shell or a fan. So I will show you until the end of the row. So now we have 3 and then skip 2, and then it doesn't work out like, you know, if you skip 2, go to the third one, and then you will have too many stitches left. You will have to work out on the last part here. You skip 2 chains. For this part here, because I only need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, I need to work out like skip 3, go to the fourth one, double crochets, and then I will skip 3, go to the fourth one, and then do the last fan, the last shell. For size S, you do exactly the same, but for size M, for size L and XL, you will need to do 5 of these. By working out on the stitches, there is no specific stitches because different sizes, you will have the stitches at the end of this part here left. So you will need to work out on this part, and then I skip 3, go to the fourth one. So like this, and then you will end up having 4 of this shell. And then you need to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn the work and slip stitch on this middle part where you did change 2. Now change 3 and then slip stitch, change 2 and do the double crochets on this part where you did also double crochets. Like this, like chain 5, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch in this middle part, and then change 2 double crochets on this part where you also did double crochets, and then repeat by change 2 and do the slip stitch on this middle part here, 3 change, slip stitch, change 2 double crochets, change 2, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch, change 2 double crochet, change 2, slip stitch on this middle part, change 3, slip stitch, change 2, and on the last stitch where we did change 3, just go for double crochet. So you will have the pattern on top of the first pattern here. So basically you just chain 5, slip stitch, change 3, change 2 double crochet on this part here, so you can see they are on the same stitch, and then change 2, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch, change 2 double crochet, change 2, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch, and so on. And now we need to repeat the whole pattern of these 2 rows one more time by change 3 and do exactly the same as on this row, on this little part here. by do the 3 double crochets, change 2, 3 double crochets, exactly the same pattern, and now do the double crochets on top of the double crochet stitch on, from the previous row, so you will have exactly the same pattern, and the rest you just repeat by change 3 double crochets, 3 of them, change 2 and then 3 double crochet in the same, this little mesh stitch here from the previous row, and just repeat the whole row. And end of the row you need to chain 5 and repeat the second row of this pattern, chain 5 at the beginning of the row, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch, change 2 and do double crochet where the double crochet stitch from the previous row, change 2, slip stitch, change 3, slip stitch, and so on until you reach the last stitch, and then just leave the yarn on this piece. No need to cut it because we need to do the side. I would say this is the waistband. The waistband, after you've done this piece, you need to repeat exactly the same as on this one for another piece, because we are using both front and back using the same pattern. So now at the end of the row you will end up having something like this. Now we leave the yarn. I will chain 1 first and then we leave the yarn on this piece for now, and do another piece of this. Do exactly the same. If you do other sizes, make sure you repeat the same pattern as on the front piece. This you can wear both front and back. It's Brazilian bottom, and I chose white because this is a customized piece. You can choose any color of your choice. You can mix any colors. For the summer, white, I think this is quite a lovely color. So I will meet you after you done another piece. Now I have done the front and the back piece. So they are exactly the same for size M. Now we need to do the waistband. And by doing the waistband for different sizes, I have figured this out for you. For example, size M. So this is size M. I have mentioned about this part is 6.5. This is the width of the top of the bikini. On this part here, 6.5 for size M. For size S, that would be 6 inches. M 6.5, L 7, XL 7.5 for this part only. This is the top part. Now for the strap or the waistband, you will need to figure this out. For different sizes, I have my size chart. Here's my size chart for POMCLOSET. We will need the hip part. So for example, S 36 inches, M 38 inches, L 40, XL 42. Now I'm making size M as I have mentioned. So we work on the hip size 38 inches. We need to divide it by 2 because 38 inches is around your hip. When you measure from front and back, this is around the hip, and divide it by 2 to get only the front piece from this part to this part. This is only the front piece. When you divide it by 2, you get 19 inches for this size, and you need to deduct it 4 inches for every sizes. is 4 inches. So I have 15 inches left. Now 14 inches left. We need to divide it 15 inches again, divided by 2, because we need to do these straps for the left side and this strap for the right side. So you can see after you divided the hips into front and back piece, you have 19 inches left, and then divided by 4 inches for all sizes. So 15 inches left, you need to divide it by 2 to make these 2 parts. So once you calculate all these 3 measurements from the left waistband, including the middle part of the bikini, also on the right waistband, so the total would be 15 inches. This is what we need, and this is for size M. For other sizes, for example S, so we will work from the hips part. The hip of the size small is 36 inches. You divide it by 2, you get 18 inches left, and you deducted 4, you have 14 inches left. This is 14 inches we will need from the left waistband to the right waistband, including this middle part. So this middle part, as I have mentioned, you have 6 inches, and you need to divide it 14 inches deducted by 6. So whichever you have left, you need to divide it, these 2 parts. So when you do this 4 plus 6 plus 4, you will still have 14 inches left. This is for size S. Size M I have mentioned. For size L, the hips 40 inches divided by 2, you have 20 inches left, and then deducted 4, you have 16 inches left, and divided also by 2, because you need whichever left for this waistband. So when you do 4.5 inches plus 7 plus 4.5, you will have 16 inches waistband for both front piece and the back piece. And also XL, hips 42 inches divided by 2, you have 21 inches left, and deducted 4, 17 inches left, and divided by 2 also, you will get 4.75 inches, and when you plus 3 numbers, you will have 17 inches for the front piece and the back piece. So I will continue doing my size M. For the waistband, we need to continue from where we still have the yarn left. So I will chain 1, and then I will turn. So we work on upwards on this side, because this is the waistband. And on the first double crochet rows here, we need to do two single crochets in this part here, and the next double crochets here, you need to do two single crochets, and the next one also 2 single crochets. So the total of these 3 rows, you will have 6 single crochets. This is row 1. For row 2, you need to chain 1, turn the work, and starting from the first stitch here, always not on this one, and do single crochets until you reach the last stitch. So the total would still be 6 single crochets, 6 stitches. And for the next rows, you need to just repeat row 2, chain 1, turn the work, and starting from this first stitch, and just continue doing the single crochets. Just keep turning the work. make sure you still have six stitches. This one works for all sizes, for S, M, L, XL. So we only need 6 single crochets for the straps or for the waistband. And I will continue doing this until I get the length of, for size M. So I have divided this part here. You will need to continue, let me get 4 plus, as I don't want to do 4.5 inches and then cut off the yarn and then do the other side. So I will do the other trick, which is you need to do this part and continue doing this part to make it one long straps for one side, for front and back. If you understand what I mean, I will firstly continue doing this waistband here for the length of 4.25 for the length of 8.5 inches, and then I will get back to you. And I have done the strap of 34 rows because I have counted 4 rows is 1 inch, and I need 8.5 inches. So when you 8.5 inches multiply by 4, I have ended up with 34 rows. So when you do 1 inch, count as 4 rows. So you need to work it out which size you're making, and then you multiply by 4 to get number of rows. And I have measured from this part here, this is the top of the bottom, bikini bottom, up to where my needles, my hook, crochet hook is stretched up to 15 inches. This is what I need for my size M. This is only one side. The straps here, as I have mentioned, so this is what I meant. When you do the straps 4.5 inches up to here, I will only have half of this, and then I crochet another half, which is 4.25 inches. So I will get the other half, because when you fold it, you will have the other half of the back piece. So this is what I meant. Now we need to connect to this part, and then I can show you what it looks like, so to just to be able to understand better. So I have now, this is, I would say this is the wrong side, and here it looks nicer, that would be the right side. And when you connect the front and the back part, you need to find the right side. This is my both the right side on this part, and I need to put the right side to the right side like this, and I will connect the strap on the other side like this by working from the first row like this, and then you need to pull the yarn through, chain 1, and then I'll turn back. So I work now on the first stitch, so I work on the second. Basically you need 2 single crochet on each of these double crochet rows. And the next stitch on this one, and the next one, because there are only 6 single crochets, you need to divide it 2 for each of the crochet rows on the other piece as well. Here's the last stitch, and then I will leave the yarn like this first to show you what I mean by the front piece and the back piece. So by doing this, you don't have to do the half of the straps and then cut off the yarn and do the half of the straps and then reconnecting the 2 pieces. So by doing this, there is no seams. and then it will become like one piece long strap like this. And repeat the other side. The other side, I still have my yarn left from the top part here, so I will, it's number 3, number 4, I will chain 1 and then do 2 single crochets on these double crochet rows, and 2 single crochet on the next, 2 single crochet on the next. So exactly the same as on the other side. And I will continue doing the straps or the waistband here for 34 rows, and then I will reconnecting it onto the front part. So make sure you connecting on the right side to the right side together, like on this part. And then we will leave the yarn for now, because we need to do the edging. So by doing the edging, before doing the edging, we need to I can show you first the bottom part here. So make sure which one is on the right side. So here is on the right side or the wrong side. Here's the wrong side because here is the seams. I will work from the wrong side by grabbing the piece of yarn and use the needle. So here is the yarn needle, and insert, get the end. I'm not gonna get it for too long, so probably around 15 inches, and I will connect the yarn by insert the crochet the yarn needles through the first stitch of front and back. This is the wrong side because I need to have the seam allows inside, and leave it for 6 centimeters to weave in later. And do it once. So insert, I will keep doing this, insert the needle through the second stitch, front and back, also on the next stitches, like this, front back piece, only on the really edging, very end, what do you call this, it's just make it very thin. You don't need the big seams on this part here. So front piece, back piece, front piece, back piece, like this. So you need to balance the sides, the front and the back. So now I have done I've connected the front and the back piece like this, and I will leave the yarn like this so I can weave in later. And now I need to continue doing the waistband and reconnecting with the other piece, exactly the same as what I have shown you, and make sure the right side to the right side, and then do exactly the same technique by doing 2 single crochet on each of these double crochet rows. And don't need to cut the yarn off just yet, so maybe I can show you now. We will need to work from the right side by turning the work to the right side. This is the right side because here is where the seam is. And basically the edging here we will need to do only single crochet all the way around. I will use the yarn that we have left. I haven't cut it yet. And this row we have done the 2 double crochets, and the next row here we still have the 1 double crochet rows left. I will go also for 2 single crochet on this one, and the rest just do single crochet on each of these rows, just to make the edging looks a lot nicer. For example, next row here, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet all the way around. Now I get to the part where we started, the front and the back, and the ends here I want to hide them, so you can just do the single crochet on top of these strands, because it's too short to sew them in. So this is another technique to just hide the ends. If you have the strong, the long string, long edge, the long ends left, you can just sew them in like this. Just go on top of them. So continue doing the single crochet all the way around. And this part here you can just cut. And just cut it off. I'm here on the other side of the bottom, and the double crochet rows, this is the first double crochet rows, you just need to go for 2 single crochets, and on this row you already have 2 single crochets. You can just go to the waistband and do the single crochet on each of these stitches. So continue doing this all the way around until you reach the stitch, the first stitch where you started, slip stitch, cut off the yarn and weave all the ends in, and then repeat the other side as well. Alright guys, the bikini bottom in Brazilian style is finished. This is size M, as I have mentioned. For other sizes I also have explained how you adding the rows or the stitches from the beginning, and how many rows you have to make it up here and also on the side, so hopefully it doesn't get too confused. And this bikini bottom, it's kind of stretch with the cotton yarn. It's 100% cotton yarn, so it can be stretched when it's wet, but it will shrink back to the previous size once it's dry. So how to wash it, you can wash by hand or the machine, this is no problem, unless you use other type of yarn. So you can check how the yarn react to water by making maybe a small samples of the yarn, for example like 20 stitches by 10 row or 20 rows, and to see how many chain, how many stitches you will need for this. And what to wear with this bikini bottom, there are many tops that I have created on the channel, so please feel free to check them out. You can mix and match any items of your favorite and any colors of your choice. So don't forget to share the pictures of what you've done by following my tutorials on my Instagram account, and I would love to see your works. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial, guys. If you get confused or don't understand any part of the video, please feel free to leave a comment on the comment section, and I will try to get back to you with the answer. And please feel free to check out the other video on my channel. There are many designs I have done, also there are many more to come. And hopefully you get to share the works after you've done the bikinis by following my tutorials on my Instagram account. If you need to purchase the finished product or some patterns, feel free to check out my website also. And I will see you in the next video.